Greetings, comrades. Today we are going to talk about a classic rock movie that is often overlooked, but holds a special place in my heart. Almost Famous. Released in 2000, this movie tells the story of a young journalist, William Miller, as he travels on tour with the fictional band Stillwater in the 1970s. This one's going to be a quickie, so, just to let you know. One of the things that really stood out to me about this movie was the heavy influence of classic rock, particularly the Beatles. This movie takes place in 1973, over 3 years after the Beatles disbanded, and their impact on popular music was still being felt. You can hear this influence in the music of Stillwater, particularly in their harmonies and use of acoustic guitars. But the movie doesn't just reference the Beatles. It also pays homage to the other classic rock bands of the time, such as Led Zeppelin and the Allman Brothers Band. In fact, the character of Russell Hammond, Stillwater's guitar, is heavily inspired by Duane Allman of the Allman Brothers Band. And not just Russell Hammond, but also the entire story was inspired by an interaction Cameron Crowe had with Greg Allman after Duane Allman's death. You can hear the influence of Duane Allman into Russell Hammond in the guitar solos of the movie's music. Another thing that really stood out to me was the attention to detail when it came to classic rock history. There are numerous references to real-life events, people such as the infamous incident when the Rolling Stones were beaten up by Hell's Angels at Altamont Speedway. And also references to legendary rock journalist Lester Bangs, who was a real-life friend, mentor to the movie's protagonist, William Miller. As a communist, I find it particularly interesting to see how music and popular culture can reflect social and political climate of the time period. In the 70s, the United States was still reeling from the Vietnam War, and there was a sense of disillusionment among young people. Classic rock with its focus on rebellion and individualism provided an outlet for this disillusionment and gave people a sense of community and belonging. Overall, Almost Famous is a love letter to classic rock and the counterculture of the 1970s. It's a movie that celebrates the power of music to bring people together and to make a difference. So if you're a fan of classic rock or just looking for a movie that will transport you back to a different era, I highly recommend checking out Almost Famous. Thank you for tuning into my review, comrades. Remember, keep fighting for the good fight and never stop questioning the status quo. Next time, solidarity.